Hi, can everybody see me? There is a little bit of a delay at my end. So hopefully you can see me. I just need to do a little bit of switching around. And hopefully people will be joining us soon. So if you are on board, please do drop your name into the comments. Let me know who's here. Let me know who's on board. There we go. And there we are. We should be live. I'm just going to get my phone up so that I can see the comments as they come through. Did anybody get caught out with the Facebook outage last night? I'm glad this didn't happen last night. And if we do go down for some reason, then I am entirely blaming Facebook. It's nothing to do with me. All right, there we go. Okay, so thank you. Hello, welcome, joining me. I know a lot of people are going to be catching up and watching this on the replay. So thank you very much for coming along. For those that are new to the group that maybe don't know me, my name is Kat. I am founder and owner of Herding Cats Digital. I am also the founder of the group Digital Marketing Made Easy, which has a book that goes along with it called Digital Marketing Made Easy. And you think I would have a copy? Oh, here we go. There you go. Which has reached the dizzy heights of #2 in Amazon Kindle bestsellers. Super thrilled with that. Talk to you more about that later on. But tonight I'm here to talk to you all about email marketing and how to create a winning email marketing strategy. If you haven't already, then there is a free workbook that goes along with this. The link is on the page, but I will also add it to comments later on as well. And it works through everything that you need to do to set up a winning email marketing strategy. And tonight I'm going to go through a few things with you that I found really helped me. And I'm just gonna, that's it. So you should be able to see that alongside me now. So if you're watching this live, like I said, please do say hello. Let me know where you're from. If you are watching on the replay, then put #replay. I will be answering questions towards the end. There's a little bit of a break in the middle, and then I'll be answering more of the questions towards the end. So if you have a question, if you put #question at the beginning, oh my God, how much? Yeah, if you put #question at the beginning, and then when I'm scrolling back through the comments, I will be able to see them much easier. Okay, so I am going to do that so that you can see the presentation more than you can see me, which I'm sure you appreciate. And I'm going to start working my way through. Okay, so tonight we're going to be talking about all about how to create a winning email marketing strategy. And it's one of the things that has been fundamental in growing my business over the years. It's something that I still do today. There are mistakes that I have made along the way, trust me. And there are things that I am still learning, but the fundamentals for building an email marketing strategy remain the same. So that's what we're going to run through. So let's have a look at, okay, so these are the things that we're going to be looking at now. Please don't let this blow your mind. It seems like an awful lot. It is a lot. The workbook works through it step by step as well. So please do download that. Make sure you've got something to take notes with, because there's going to be lots of actionable tips in here that you can take away and that you can do yourself. So you're going to be looking at why email marketing is still relevant. If you're new to email marketing, maybe you don't have a list yet, or maybe you just started building your list, where you need to start with it. Looking at segmenting your audience, setting goals, testing and measuring. And then one of the biggest objections that I get is people struggling to know what to write. So we're going to be touching on that as well. And then we're going to be looking at adding value, so how you can continually add value to that email list so that you're building the know, like, and trust. Email nurturing. We're going to take a little bit of a pause here, and I'm going to share with you a little story about my cats and introduce you to them, past and present. Then I'm going to get you thinking about the customer journey and what the decision-making process is. I'm going to share some top tips for what content your email can contain. Then we're going to break it down and get into the nitty-gritty. We're going to look at the email sequences, so how many you should be sending and what format they should take. Then we're going to look at upselling and what to do next. Okay, so it does seem like an awful lot, but we will get there. We will get there, trust me. I've practiced this, and early on today it took me about 45 minutes to go through it all. So shall we just dive in and crack on with it? Shall we? I think we should. Yeah, we will. Okay. So make sure you got a cup of tea to hand. Your workbook, if you've downloaded it, and something to write with if you haven't got any notes. I just need to make sure I've got everything in front of me before I start. Right, there we go. Okay, sorted. So is email still relevant? What do you think? Is it? If you look at your own inbox, I'm sure you must receive hundreds of emails every day, tens of hundreds of emails every day. No, I do. They just sit there. I don't even open half of them. In fact, the majority of the emails that I sign up for go to a Gmail address that I don't even particularly use. If it's something super important or somebody that I really want to hear from, then it will go to my business address. But other than that, it goes to my Gmail address. But you know what? It's more relevant now than it ever has been. And this is one of the things that we're going to cover. How do you stop your emails from going to a spam address and going into your business? Stop your subscribers giving you a Gmail address and their actual business address so that you can keep in touch with them. And it's only going to gain more prominence as the years go on. So, were you a victim of the Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger outage yesterday? Many of us were. I was trying to post some things in the group about tonight's workshop, couldn't get on, things were duplicated, things were deleted. It was bonkers. And actually it scared me because it made me realize how much I rely on Facebook for building my business. But then what was the nice thing about that was that I actually had another way of communicating with my audience. So it wouldn't have mattered if all my group members had dropped off, if all my page likes had disappeared, because I still have a way of keeping in touch. I have their email addresses. So that's something for you to think about. How would you keep in touch with your audience if for whatever reason you couldn't get in touch with them across social media anymore? How would you continue to build that relationship? Okay, the other reason that I love email marketing is because it's permission-based. So it's not like a cold call where you're interrupting somebody and you're just expecting them to give you their time whilst they're in the middle of something else. They have said that they want to be in touch with you. They want to hear from you. And permission-based marketing has so much more value than the cold, the spamming, the not building that connection in the first place. It's also measurable. So rather than just building the amount of likes, the number of retweets, the number of conversations, you can actually put a pound value or a dollar value to that. So if you are building a specific email marketing campaign to sell a product or a service, then you can assign a cash value to that. And of course, it's action orientated. So every email should contain a call to action. You need to be telling people what it is that you want them to do next. And I am going to cover that a little bit more. And one of the things that I absolutely love about email is that it can be personalized. Now, I'm not just talking about including the, auto tagging their first name within the content of your email. I'm talking much deeper than that. So you can personalize it to their likes, their tastes, their birthdays, pretty much anything you can personalize it. And this is one of the big areas that I'm going to cover tonight as well. Okay, so let's just assume for a minute you're just starting out. Let's just say that you're brand new to email marketing and you don't really know where to start. One of the first things that you absolutely need to do is select an email service provider. Now, there are many, many, many out there. And, each of us have our favorites. Each of the digital marketing experts are email marketing gurus that you speak to, I'm sure will recommend their own. I use MailChimp. I've used it for about 10 years. I see absolutely no reason to change. It serves my purpose as well. It's comprehensive. I'm going to go into it a little bit more, but MailChimp for me is where I started, and I have no intention of moving away from it. But what I would say is explore the market. There are tons out there. There are some that connect to lead pages, such as landing pages, such as ClickFunnels or lead pages. There are some that are just standalone. So have a look around the market, have a look at different email services providers and see which one not just suits your budget, but that suits your needs. Once you've selected your email service provider, you then have the capability of adding the sign-up form to your website, to your landing page, social networks, email signature strips. Absolutely everywhere that you can put that subscribe form, that sign-up form, then add it in, as long as it's appropriate, I would say. And what can you get people to sign up for? I mean, please don't just say sign up to my newsletter, subscribe to my newsletter. How dull is that? Who would want to do that? They don't. Entice them, excite them, make them want to submit their email address. And trust me on this, people are seriously protective of their email addresses, even more so than they are, I don't know, their wallet or their car keys. So some ideas for what you could potentially use to get to encourage those signups. A free opt-in or free download is probably one of the most commonly known ones. I'm going to touch on that a little bit later. Say regular newsletters. I hate the word newsletter. So if you can find a different word for that, then you go for it. If you're an e-commerce site or maybe a services site, first order discount. So sign up with us today, get 20% discount on your first order. Maybe you've got free shipping and a loyalty card. So if it's somebody that's going to come back and buy from you again and again, it's a repeat product or service that they need, then maybe access to a free loyalty card could be some reason for them to submit a very valuable asset. Okay, so we're going to look a little bit now about making it personal. And this is where the strength, I feel, of email marketing, and it's where the power of email marketing lies. And it's quite possibly where you can always stay one step ahead of your competition, because there are not many businesses, there are not many companies, there are not many entrepreneurs that take the time to do this. It's something that I talk about in the book, and I'm going to go through it with you, kind of the highlight details now, and that is segmenting your audience. So whichever email marketing provider you sign up for, you will have the option to create a list. Within that list, you will have the option to tag or categorize every single subscriber that joins that list. So you can do it one of two ways. You can now have just one massive long list, and everybody's tag got different tags alongside, depending on what it is that they signed up for. Or you can create a different list for each email that they signed up for. So the earlier example, if it's a free opt-in, so if you've done a free opt-in on, I don't know, one on Twitter, one on Facebook, one on LinkedIn, then you could have 3 separate lists. So the reason for doing that is that every time you go back and you make further email communication with them, is you will then be talking to them about something that they signed up for. Now I'm going to touch on this in a bit more detail further on, but segmenting your audience is something that you should consider right from the outset. It does make your life easier because you won't struggle to find topics of conversation to have with them. You will see a higher conversion rate, so you will see more click-throughs, you will see more open rates, and if you're leading to a product or a service, you will see a higher conversion into sales if you are talking to your audience about what it is they originally signed up for. Which brings me on to my next point. Because you've segmented, then you know why they signed up. So if they signed up to receive, I don't know, let's say you're a health and well-being expert. If they signed up to receive top 10 tips on quitting sugar, then each email that you send after them, you will talk about how's your journey quitting sugar going? How are you getting on? Are you seeing weight loss? So you're talking to them about something that they've signed up for. It's something that's relevant. It's a pain point that you are going part of the way to solving. And you're building relationships. Every email that you send out, you should always, always, always be talking to just one person. I mean, think about it. If you were to walk into a retail outlet, the assistant wouldn't group all the customers together, stand them there and say, how can I help? They would approach that person individually. They would find out where they are right now, what it is that they're looking for, and they would help that person. And that's exactly the same with email. You're just talking to that one individual. Only you know that that email might be going out to 500 people or 50 people, but they don't need to know that. All they need to understand is that you are talking directly to them. Okay, setting goals. I'm a marketer. Of course I'm going to set goals. And you're going to see as we're going in the workshop, I do that a lot. But think about it. Think about it. Don't make it a pointless exercise. Think, who are you targeting? Why are you even sending them this email in the first place? What action do you want them to take? How will you track clicks? And what will success look like for you? So how will you know that that email marketing campaign has been a success? What measurables can you put in there? Again, I'm going to touch on this a little bit later, but not every email, in fact, very few emails will focus on the actual sale. What they will focus on is providing value. So success to you might look like you've increased subscribers to your YouTube channel. You've directed traffic back to your website and your blog reads have increased. So think about it in terms of you're always playing the long game. Unless you're doing a flash sale of a product, it's not a quick win because there's a nurturing process that needs to take place as well. But if you can set some measurable goals before you press send, then you will have a known outcome at the end of it. That makes sense? I think so. Okay, and again, test and measure. So this is another thing that I love about email marketing, is that you can test and measure practically everything to do with your emails. Different subject lines, and this is probably the biggest area where you can make a difference. So you'll know yourself, emails land in your inbox. Do an exercise tomorrow morning when you get to your desk. Have a look through the emails that you've received, look at the subject lines, and then look at the ones that you've opened and have a think, why did you open them? And my guess is that it either involved a question or it involved something that you needed to know more about, so it was enticing. So you need to be bringing an element of that to your email marketing campaign and play around with it. Maybe you send a question out a couple of times. Maybe you make it enticing, so a bit of a teaser a couple of times, and see which gets the highest click-through rate, which gets the highest conversions. Track the traffic that goes back to your website, which had the most impact. Call to actions. So this is where you tell people what you want them to do, and you have to tell people what it is that you want them to do. They will not by default do things automatically. You have to tell them what it is that you want them to do. So vary where you send people to. So it could be to your free Facebook group. It could be to your YouTube channel. It could be to a webinar replay link. So, but vary where it is that you're sending them to, and again, see what it is, because from there you'll know what it is that your audience wants to learn and wants to know more about. And then you can get into the fun things such as button colors, font and text colors. I'm not a designer, but these things do make a difference. I know if I put, for example, in my emails, if I make a call to action button purple, it has no impact whatsoever. If I make it red or orange, it gets clicked. Crazy, right? And then the bottom one, date and time sent. So it's taken me years to perfect this, but I know the second Thursday of every month at 6:30 p.m. is when my emails get the best open rate. So if you sign up to my mailing list, you can guarantee second Thursday every month at 7 p.m. is when you're going to get an email from me. And literally, it's I mean, I joke, it has taken me years to nail it down that narrow, but you will know yourself. Once you start sending emails out on a regular basis, how and when you should be sending them. So vary the date and time as well. Sorry, that's made me chuckle. So what to say? I can't reiterate enough that you've got to have it in your head. You've got your client avatar, your ideal client, whatever it is that you want to call them. You've got to have them front and center when you're writing this, so that you are only talking to that one person. Mentioned it before, you are not selling, you are being relevant. Talk to them, not at them. Don't be overly promotional. Be useful. So I like to think of it as you're meeting them where they are. So if I go back to that retail experience, if somebody has walked into a shop, they're knackered, they've been looking for this pair of shoes, you are the 7th shop that they've walked into. They just want this experience to be simple and easy and for you to be useful. That is what I compare it to. So when you're writing your email, how can you apply that salve? How can you make life easier for them? Where can you be useful? You already know their pain point because they've perhaps signed up to a free download. So you already know what issues they have. How can you take it a little bit further to help them solve their problem and make their life easier? And then one of my favorite things, every time a subscriber sees your email in their inbox, you want them to look forward to reading it. So they have the emotion of, great, I can take 5 minutes. I know reading this is going to be time well spent. And that is the ultimate outcome. That is what you are aiming for. And then finally on this, add value. So where, how, why, and when can you add value to their world? I'm going to give you an example now, so I might just need to switch screens over a little bit. So this is from Mary. Now Mary is actually a member of the Facebook group. So Mary, if you are watching, this is Mary Duggan, and she is my creative coach. I went on one of her workshops last year. Brilliant. If you get the chance, go on it. Now, I love Mary's emails, and this comes through about 3 o'clock on Friday afternoon. You can more or less set your watch by it. And this is one of the emails that gives me the effect of, it's the end of the week. I can have a cup of tea, I can round the week off, and I can read Mary's post. And the thing that I love about Mary's emails is she fully understands who she's targeting, who she's talking to. So I'm just going to take this, for example, which is the latest one that I received from her, Drain the Swamp or It Will Drain You. Do you ever get the feeling of overwhelm? Now, as entrepreneurs, of course we do. As creatives, of course we do. And Mary completely understands that. She's asking questions. She's already pulling me in. Emotionally, I'm already recognizing myself in the words that she's using. That swamp is such a heavy and tiring place to be. Now, I'm getting this at 3 o'clock on Friday afternoon. Mary doesn't know what kind of week I've had, but hell, if I've had a shit week, this woman is speaking my language. What she then does is to go on to provide value by offering 3 quick fixes. I mean, this is great. I'm sat having a cup of tea. It's Friday afternoon. I'm winding down. These are brilliant. And because Mary knows her audience well, because I've been on her email list for some time, very subtly at the bottom, she put a little sign up button. She put it in yellow. That's probably one that works for her, that gets the most click-throughs. Sign me up for some spring energy. Why wouldn't you? So thank you, Mary. I did check with Mary, by the way, that it was okay for me to share that email with you, and I will include a link to Mary's website so that you can sign up for the newsletter. I would highly recommend taking part. And as I say, if you have chance to go on to one of Mary's workshops based in Wakefield, then I would highly recommend that you do. So back to where we were. Right, are you all still with me? Shall we just take a quick break? Let me have a quick drink, refill your glasses of whatever it is that you've got. We're doing well. We're doing well. 25 minutes and no Facebook outage. Woo! Okay, so if you've any questions, are you still with me? If you've any questions, if anything I've said so far has made absolutely no sense whatsoever, then just go fire away. I'm just going to check my phone and see if, right, okay, we're all good. Okay, so let's move on. Now, I have somehow managed to wangle in a story about the next thing that's dearest to me apart from my husband. Email nurturing. And I'd like to introduce you to my pussycats. So my business name, I often get comments on it, herding cats. Yes, it's relevant to marketing. It came about because I can quite often be seen in my shed herding cats. So I want to introduce you to these 4 beauties. So these are cats from past and present. So here over on the left, we have Steeder, who was my gorgeous, handsome show cat. Then we have Noisy Little Winnie over here. Cheeky Jensen, as you can see, he's got the cheeky face. And here we've got the latest addition, the newest addition to the family. Let me go back. How dare you? Let me go back to Button. I mean, his official name's Button. We call him lots of things. Button, not very often. Okay, so why am I sharing with you a picture of my cats? Well, this is in the book, and I am gonna read it from the book. And it's a perfect example of email marketing done really well. So recently, well, not recently, last year it was, I had an occasion to visit the vets. My little girl Winnie wasn't very well. He recommended that she was put on a special diet, and she needed to have a special food that would help with the condition that she had. So he gave me a free sample of the cat food, and he gave me a discount if I was going to buy it direct from him. So of course, what did I do? Go home, Google it, find this cat food online, see if I can buy it anywhere cheaper. And of course, as soon as I hit that search, I was just inundated with a whole range of choices, and it was the same product. And 9 times out of 10, it was actually a damn sight cheaper than the cats. I've no idea why that music has just started playing. Sorry, Radio 2 clearly wanted an in on that. Random, and I can't edit because it's live. Ignore it. Where were I? Oh yeah, so so I could potentially buy it cheaper online, and they're all at different price points. But what I actually stopped a moment and I thought, okay, let me consider why I'm going to buy from them. So number one, I knew the vets. I'd been going there since the first one, Cedar, was kind of 8 weeks old. So it was 20 years I've been going there. Winnie had tried the sample product. She really liked it. The brand that the vet had recommended was one that I was familiar with. I was aware of it. And even with the discount voucher that the vets had kindly given me, the products online were still considerably cheaper. So the next day, still thinking about it, I'd still not made a decision. Opened my inbox, an email from the vet arrived. It explained a little bit more about Winnie's condition, explained a little bit more about why she needed the special diet food, what the benefits of the diet were. But then it also went into explain the details of the benefits of buying from the vet direct. And they gave me the additional option that if I did buy from them direct, they would make a considerable donation to a local cat charity. Of course, I bought from the vet. It was an absolute no-brainer. They had they'd given me the discount. I knew them. Obviously, I liked them, or I wouldn't have kept going there. More than anything, I trusted them. And they knew me. By offering that donation to the local cat charity, it was a cat homeless charity, a rescue centre. It was something that tugged at my heart. They knew me, So why is this relevant? Well, it's followed the principles of know, like, and trust. And if we move on within the presentation, something that you need to consider when you're setting up your email marketing campaign is about the customer journey. So similar to what I did, maybe look at how you've purchased something in the past online. It's not always based on price. If you structure your email marketing campaign properly, if you nurture and you build through the know, like, and trust, then you will be creating a feeling of familiarity, which will encourage people to buy. Give them no other option than to buy from you. And that, as I've said before, create a feeling of, hello, friend, when you land in their inbox. Wait, think about taking it, you're taking your new subscribers onto a journey, similar to a game of courtship. You wouldn't, if you were meeting somebody on a date, you wouldn't immediately dive in and ask them to marry you. You would get to know them. You would find out if you have got common ground. You would understand them a little bit more. You already know why they've signed up. You already know one of their pain points. So how can you build on that? How can you build on that know, like, and trust? Okay. One of the biggest things I get asked is, what is it that I'm supposed to write? I'm not creative. If you think that, you need to speak to Mary. But I'm not creative. I'm not a writer. I don't know what it is I'm supposed to be saying. So here are a few very easy tips and things that you can adopt. And again, these are all in the free download. So please do make sure that you download that. So tell a story, make it interesting, intriguing, inspiring. So similar to how I've just told the cat story, it's of interest. You're kind of spinning and weaving the story around what it is that you've got to tell. It could be the story about how you started in business. It could be the story about where you've gone from to where you are now. Think about stories that you can create. Everybody loves a story. Tell a story around something that you love. It could be a business tool that saved you time, something you hate, so a pet industry hates, or it's something that would resonate with your audience, something that drives you mad, but you found a solution to it. Try and stay relatable, believable. So time you screwed up massively. I've done this. In fact, if you're on my mailing list, you probably got the email that I sent a couple of times, maybe a couple of months ago, where I'd done a massive email marketing campaign, promoted an online course, and the link was broken, and I lost out on about, 50 odd sales. Yeah, but it's the time I screwed up. I told them about that, but then I told them what I did to put it right again. In a time that you struggled, everybody loves to champion the underdog and loves triumph and hearing a story where you've risen to victory. So I mentioned subject lines earlier, and this is where you can have one of the biggest impacts in getting your emails opened. And I call it the 3 C's: curiosity, continuity, and chemistry. So curiosity is something within the subject line that's going to make them say, I have to know more. Continuity, I like this one. This is really good. Set up your next email. So if you sent out the first email that's got the first free download, put in a little PS, an extra special something coming your way in the next 2 days, so that they know they're expecting you to land in their inbox. And chemistry, so use your own personality as well. Make sure that your smile comes across, that your quirkiness, your geekiness, whatever it is, make sure that that comes across as well. Okay, so we're going to have a look, and one thing to say here is, this is an example of the email sequence that I use. You need to figure out what it is that will work for you. Use this as a template by all means, but you will know from the open rates, from the click rates, whether or not it's working for you. So if, for example, you have had somebody sign up, I've put newsletter, but it could be a promotional offer, it could be a loyalty card, whatever it is that they've signed up for. So your first email, it's going to be welcome and thank you. Second email, sent a couple of days after the first one, what to expect, connect with me on social. Third email, 5 days later, how can I help? So you are providing value. You are asking them what it is that you can do. So suggest resources, blog posts, videos that will be useful. Throughout your working week, start curating content. Have a little, I don't know, post-it note on your screen or Evernote or just Facebook notes, whatever it is. Start creating content and think, oh yeah, actually my audience would be quite interested in that. So you've always got something, little tidbits of information. And then something that came up, I asked in the group last night if anybody had any questions, and one of the things, as is always the case, I don't have time. I can't find time. So second Thursday of every month at 6:30, my email goes out. It's in my calendar. It's on my wall. I have a post-it note stuck to my screen. Second Thursday of every month at 6:30, my email goes out. It's in my subconscious, so I'm constantly scribbling down little notes. I don't know what my little thing is, but I'm constantly scribbling down little notes of things that I think people would find interesting. Even if it's just one word, I can expand on it when I start writing it up. And commit to it. That's what you've got to commit to it. If you think that email marketing is where you're going to see your biggest return, then you need to commit to it. And try sending the same day, same time until you establish the best open rates. So for the first month, depending on how often you send it out, which you've gone through the email sequence, depending on how often you send it out, whether it's fortnightly, whether it's monthly. For the first month, send it every Monday. For the second month, send it every Tuesday, until you work out when the best time is and when the best open rates are going to be that work for you. Okay, so this is an example of a nurturing sequence. So if somebody's opted in for a free download from your website, from your social media sites, wherever, from a landing page, they receive the first email immediately that includes a free download. Can't stress that enough. They have to receive that free download immediately. And a thank you for downloading. It's really simple, but sometimes people forget and they just go straight for the kill. Second email, 2 days later, how are you getting on? Is it working for you? Can I help with anything? And add more value. Send some more top tips, even if it's just little bullet points. It doesn't have to be another free download, just little bullet points, 5 bullet points within the email body itself, just emailing something further that's going to help solve their pain point. Third email, 5 days later, where to find more? Do you need any help? Let's connect. So if you have a membership site, if you have a free Facebook group, this is the perfect opportunity. And then the fourth email, 10 days later, again, these timings, you've got to work them out for yourself. This is what I suggest. This is what's worked for me. It's kind of the, I don't know, I don't want to say industry standard because I don't think that is an industry standard, but this is what works for me. You're going back to them, you're further nurturing that email relationship. So how did it help? And this is where you get the chance to do the upsell. Okay, so let me make sure I've got them all in order. Yeah, okay. So a couple of tips to make your emails stand out and to get them opened. Include the pain point in the subject line if they signed up via a free download. So the first free opt-in that I ever did, God, I can't remember how many years ago it was now, but I was working, I just set up in business and I was offering managed social media services. So I think I did a blog post on Twitter, one on Facebook and one on LinkedIn. I created 3 separate lists. And then for each one of those lists, I went back with a personalized email. So I segmented the audience. I went back to them. Hi, you just downloaded the Twitter tips. How did you get on? Here's a few more for you. Let me know if you need any help. I did the same for Facebook. I did the same for LinkedIn. And then once I'd taken them through that nurturing sequence, I then went for the sell. I think it was a free review that I offered of the social media activity. And then that led to buying a managed social media service from me. Invite them to connect with you on social. Yes, please do that if you're not already connected. It's how I built a lot of the Facebook group that you are so very much a member of. use the first name, but only where it would naturally fit into the conversation. I received an email the other day from a very, very well-known digital marketing guru, and my name was just scattered like confetti throughout the hub, and it was just really unnatural. So just imagine that you're having a conversation with this one person, and you would, how and when and where you would use their name in a natural process. And then you need to tell them what it is that you want them to do next. So bear in mind that call to action. What do you want them to do as a result of having received your email? Okay, so far we've talked about an email newsletter. We've talked about a free opt-in. What we're going to look at now is a sales funnel sequence. So this could be piggybacked onto the back of any of those two that we've just mentioned. So whether it's your newsletter or whether it's a free opt-in, it's probably suited better for a free opt-in. So if you are going to be upselling from the final email, so you've kept in touch with them, you've sent them the free download, you've nurtured them through your nurturing sequence over the course of maybe 5 to 10 days, could be shorter if needs be. So you've sent the email through, you've added the value, and then the next email should start introducing them the concept of a webinar, so you can find out more. In fact, I'm doing a free webinar on this in the next XYZ. You can find out more here and maybe have a landing page to the webinar. Instill FOMO, so instill fear of missing out. So you need to be on top of this information straight away. Make it time sensitive, have a countdown timer going on, so it just makes people feel that more inclined to commit to it, to get involved really. And then send a prompt email, which is always benefit driven. So if you are doing the upsell via a webinar, what are the outcomes that they will receive? What are the benefits to them for joining and taking some time out and watching this webinar? I am just going to give a word of warning here. Back in, I think it started at the end of December and it went through to the middle of January, and I was launching a new online course which was creating a sales funnel. Thank you, by the way, if you bought that. I'm very appreciative. And I actually went against my own recommendations, and I followed a sequence that had been suggested to me from I don't know what to call, suggested to me from another email marketing guru, shall we say. And it involves sending 8 emails out over the course of, I think it was either 7 or 10 days. So it was a lot of content to come up with, but that's fine. I didn't have a problem with that. And as I was writing it, and as I'm scheduling the emails to go out, something just didn't sit right with me, and I just thought, you know, it just doesn't feel comfortable. It doesn't feel that my audience are ready for this. But I thought, no, this is he's an online guru, he's a god, this is his formula, it works for him, he's made X amount of sales, so just go with it, go with it. It's the biggest mistake I ever made. I think I lost, over the space of let's say the email campaign ran for 10 days, over the space of 10 days, I think I'd lost maybe over 50 subscribers, and 50 long-term subscribers as well, who had previously opened my emails on a regular basis. And it was because I'd gone against my own instinct. So whilst I'm saying all this to you, I have to go back to the testing and measuring and to the setting goals. This has to work for you. It has to be right for you and for your business. Same as you wouldn't write something in somebody else's tone of voice. It has to be what works for you and what works for your business. So all of this is just, it's kind of a guideline really. It's giving you an idea of how you should set it up. And one of those email subscribers that did unsubscribe very kindly took time out of a day and came back to me and just said, Kat, I love your emails, I love receiving them, but this was just too much in such a short space of time. I'm really sorry. She actually signed up again to something else a bit further on down the line, but that was invaluable feedback for me. I've never done it since, and I will never do it again. So if you do join my list, you can guarantee you will not get bombarded with emails unless I've got something of value to say. Okay. Oh my God, what time is it? Oh, look at that, people. 45 minutes. Bang on. Okay, so I'm going to round it out now, and I'm just going to, as
Again,
in,
just smell a bit further on down
just
the
a
line.
minute.
But that was invaluable feedback for me.
Oh,
I've
just
never
a
done
minute.
it since, and I will never do it again. So if you do join the list, you can guarantee you will not get bombarded.
Can you hear that? That's me trying to read my comment on my phone, and it's brought me. Let me turn that down.
Okay.
Oh, don't you just love Facebook Live?
Oh my God.
Right, just a minute. I can't read that comment. Okay. So important to us, go with your gut. Oh, Anna, yeah, it absolutely is. And I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, and it's the first time I've ever gone against it. And there was just something inside me that said, but no. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. I should have followed my instinct. Anyway, so here we go. What next? Download the free workbook. I shall put the comments. Put the comment in the link. No, I'll put the link in the comments. I am more than happy to sit and work through your existing email marketing strategy with you. If you don't have one, I'm happy to be a sounding board and throw ideas at you for what you could create. So if you want to book in a free call with me, then which will take place over Zoom, then you absolutely can do. Again, I shall put the link in. If you could buy the book, that would be awesome. I don't mean to sound desperate or begging. It's just there is so much value in here. And obviously everything that we've covered tonight is all within here as well. And I delve further into detail about sales funnels. I know I've only touched on that briefly tonight, but there's much more information than that. It's £2.99 on Kindle and £9.99 as a paperback book. So that would be fantastic. If you do buy it and you do read it, if you could leave me a review, even better. And then something that I'm just kind of trying really is if you run a networking event or you want a business and you want me to come in and to deliver a workshop, or if you want a Facebook group and you would like somebody to come in and talk to your group about email marketing, then I am more than happy to do that as well. So there are loads of options there as to what to do next and how we can potentially work together. And of course, I'm going to plug my book. Why not? And lovely Mary, who I've mentioned quite a few times, has left me the most amazing review, and I cried when I read it. I'm not going to lie. Oh, thanks, Anna. Do you know, somebody said that. So Anna's just said, I'll buy it and you can sign it. See, somebody else said that to me today, and I was like, I don't think I've got an autograph. And it's really weird to think that other people are reading it. I didn't expect anybody to buy it. But I'm super thrilled that you have. So if you haven't, leave me a review. Thank you very much. Right, that's it. I'm done. Do we have any questions from anybody at all? Thank you so much for tuning in. Honestly, you never know how these things are going to go. You never know if people are going to turn up live. I've had so many messages from people on LinkedIn and also in the Facebook group saying that they can't join me live, but they will be watching the replay. And as always, it's been a bit of a crazy journey. So I'm gonna round off now. Thank you so much, as I say, for joining me, and I shall catch you within the Facebook group, and I'm going to post all those links that I've mentioned now. So thank you very much. I just need to figure out how there we go. So thank you very much. Thank you for being part of this incredible, crazy, stupid journey with me, and I shall see you next time. Until then, take care.